Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be looking at Pixeljunk Eden, which I probably don't need to tell you who made it because they handily bake their name into all of their titles. So this is one of the few games that I think really helped to do a lot to establish PSN in terms of legitimacy as far as indie games go. I mean, granted I'm playing it on Steam right now, but this is one of the few indie games that I bought on PSN, among other things like Journey and Flower were two of the other big ones. And, you know, there's a few others, but those are the big ones for me anyway. And this game, I just love the art style to it. The way everything's so just really neon, vibrant, beautiful, and filled with life. Everything's so springy and has, like, a feeling about it. Really makes me want to just explore this world, and that's what this kind of game is. It's a very graphically rich exploration game with some platforming elements and some collecting to do. So we're going to jump into the first garden and look for some stuff. I actually haven't played this in about 3 years, and I'm doing this completely without having prepared, really. I just sort of started up the game and went. So I kind of don't remember exactly what I have to do. I know I have to go find some stuff. And we're going to ignore all the jokes we can make about how phallic those objects look. Those are pollen prowlers. They're mysterious life forms of Eden. You can defeat them by jumping into them. Okay. Sounds like a plan. So my only skill, as of right now, is I can click, and then I can hold to jump, and then sort of air guide my protagonist seedling little guy here. I can't seem to grab that one. There we go. And we're just gonna look for as many of these little bits as we can. Try and collect some stuff, and if we get enough in a quick enough time, I think. I don't remember if time plays a role. I think it might. Then we're going to move on to the next area. And you know, I never actually finished this when I was playing it on PSN. But I did love it regardless. I thought this was probably one of the best things to look at on a brand new HD TV, which was the position I was in when I was just getting into buying a PS3. I had just bought a pretty decent HD TV with the ability to play, you know, 1080p games, although, you know, hardly any games actually use that. Although they love to write it all over the boxes, especially in the case of, you know, 360 games. So I'm doing probably pretty badly here. But that's okay, we're still just messing around. And just enjoying the ambience, the nice music, crisp sound effects. Oh, I'm collecting that pollen, that's good. Get it! Just get it. Get it. No! Yeah, the air control is very floaty, obviously. I mean, as you can tell, the character I'm controlling basically is almost made of air. Alright, how about we forget about that one and just try and get some of these guys instead. Maybe 2? I got a combo. 3. I'm doing good now. I mean, part of the appeal of games like this, in my opinion, is that you don't always know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, so you're sort of discovering things as you go, and that lends a lot more creativity to moving around in the environment, because you don't really know what the repercussions of any one specific action may be. Okay, that refilled part of my, what looks like a countdown timer down at the bottom. Yeah, it has been a really long time since I played this. I guess I went out of bounds there, so that's probably bad. Okay, so when I highlight that pollen, it turns to the color that I am, which is good, I guess. And I imagine that one coming into this game and not knowing what it's really about, if you don't really want to take the time to sort of just enjoy the atmosphere of it, I could see that you would probably assume this is a pretty boring game. But it's all about, like, the frame of mind you're in when you're playing it, what you're going to take out of it. Alright, so this level seems to be incredibly sparse, which is definitely not the case in most of the other ones, in fact. From what I remember, there were very many, like, tall structures, all kinds of different cavernous areas to explore. Oh, okay, here we go. I'm filling up. That's what we do, right. So I grab all these seeds, those give pollen to these chunks, which then should grow into stuff, I believe, which I can use to climb higher up. There we go. So we're going to use those nodes or seeds or whatever you want to call them to progress vertically. We're trying to make accurate jumps and collect as much pollen as possible. That was not very good, considering I should have probably landed on that twice. Alright, let's land on it this time, though. There we go. I think the problem was I was holding down click still. You have to let go for him to want to grab onto a surface again, so now I know. Or now I remember, anyway. I actually really like how very simple the approach is graphically in this. It doesn't take very much to make a statement that's so bold. And a lot of the art style comes from the color choices and the special effects, like as far as how the shapes of things move and just the way you feel like you can interact with things. I mean, things definitely have a lot of personality in this. There we go. Hey, it's a spectra. Those are a mix of light and sound, naturally. Gather these to bring them back to Eden. Okay, that's what I want to do. Gather it. Clear. I've made a spectral discovery, so that should probably open up something. And these levels do have many areas to go back to. So just because I finished one doesn't mean that I won't go back to it later and find other areas that maybe I didn't finish. Sort of like the stars in Mario 64 or something. Okay, I hit next and it randomly took me to the desktop, never mind. Not sure what that was about. And the approach with regard to the typography and the visual design mixed with the music, I think, is all really well done as well. It all really feels cohesive, and this whole package has this very experimental art feeling to it. So just as we did in the area we were just in, we've just made something else grow, which will then let us progress here too. And you'll notice the chunks down here are the different spectra that I can collect in that area. So like I mentioned, stars in Mario 64, there's how many I can get. So I've unlocked a new garden. Gardens that have just been unlocked lack energy. Explore gardens until they become stabilized, naturally. As much as I do like sort of figuring things out as I go, I'm glad that to a small degree they give you a couple little signposts to judge from. I can now do a silk jump. That's good. Left click or A key. If you left click while gripping a plant, you can jump with silk attached, right? So I can jump away like a spider or something. Defeat prowlers with your silk and fly great distances using centrifugal force. Centrifugal? Yeah, centrifugal. My bad. I was thinking like centrifuge. I value my vocabulary, it matters to me. Alright, so we're gonna get some more seed bits here and build some more plants, and we're gonna try that silk shot at some point too. Perhaps right now. Alright, so it's like having a ninja rope or a bungee cord, which I can use to spin around and grab some better stuff as we go. No, I thought I was gonna land in it. So it's like I'm hesitant to call this a platformer in a way, because platformers usually sort of represent a lot more structure, at least in my mind. And this game is, I mean, it's not completely lacking structure, but it's definitely not, like, here are the tiles you walk on, and here is the boss you defeat. I mean, it's got a couple of those level-based situations, and it's got like hubs and items to collect, but it's definitely a lot more obtuse than your average platformer. But I do feel like it falls into some of that genre. But if I had to classify it, I would definitely put it more in the experimental art game type of world. Nice combo, I guess. And this is definitely one of those just relaxing, hypnotic type of games that you can spend 20 minutes to an hour with. You're probably not going to become like a hardcore fan of it or anything, but you'll definitely appreciate it if you're into the art style. I personally just love the idea of just moving around through these beautiful landscapes and just exploring and seeing what kind of crazy things are going to happen. And I know so far they don't seem particularly crazy, but again, the levels do progress into slightly more complex situations. I would almost go so far as to call them compositions, but I guess that would be blurring industries a little bit too much than perhaps some of us are comfortable with. I could see this being like sheet music or something, just like flying around on music notes or something. Then again, that would probably be Rayman. Oh, right, okay, so some of these, the way these are structured, I'm probably supposed to be using the silk shot to grab onto these and then like swing around and grab all of them at one go, because the silk thread actually counts as far as like a hitbox goes to hit stuff into. And I want to be actually using my silk shot to grab all of those bits of pollen, because as they're floating right here, they're not going to do me much good. So if I swing around a bit, maybe I can grab some more, and I'll get up to speed, and launch myself up a bit too. No, we didn't land on it. Well, combos are always a good thing. And of course you can see that I am accumulating a score. There are leaderboards. I'm not particularly competitive about this game, but I imagine someone could be. I don't even really feel like this is a very great race or anything. The time trial element of it is very far back. It's sort of subtle. And if you're not really paying attention to it, I imagine you probably won't pay much mind to the fact that it even exists as a gameplay convention, at least until you are near the end of the game when you're trying to collect all the last few things. And the speed with which you complete the beginning will result in how far you can get later on. Sort of like in Katamari Damacy, where you have to, you know, revisit levels for better scores, and the pace that you set at the beginning of the level is going to largely determine if you will make progress that time or not. So this seems like a pretty good opportunity to grab some stuff, so let's do a little bit of swinging here. Maybe grab that one as well, yep. Alright, that's working out. I should be swinging the other direction though, because this way I'm probably not going to grab much. Oh, that was the spectra at the top there. No, that's not what I meant to do at all. Okay, grab this. Swing. Swing this way. That's not what I wanted either. I was actually doing it right the other time. Swing this way. Yes! No! I was so close. I imagine a lot of hours were spent in Adobe Illustrator when this game was being conceived of. Probably fun while it started, and then eventually dragging around points with the white arrow was probably a little bit tedious. Apparently every time I hit next on this, it brings me to my desktop. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it's the position... No. I was going to say it's the position of the show desktop button since I'm on Windows 7, but that is not the case because I can't click there normally. So, next new garden, +1, something or other. So I've got one there and one in the first garden. Is this going to take me to the next one, or is it just going to put me right back in? It's over here again. I do not remember how many gardens there are, but there were definitely a handful of them. Because I did play this for quite a few hours back in the day, and I do not remember getting past like maybe 4 or 5, and I think there were more than that. Can I silk shot here? No, doesn't look like it. So I guess I would head back into that same one, or I could go back to the original one. I personally like the color scheme a little better of this one. It's a little less muted. Plants that have bloomed and the status of the oscillator will carry over until all spectra... Okay, so actually, I was a little off about that Katamari reference. The plants that you have opened will actually hang out. So you've built a bit of a beginning, and you can capitalize on that in future subsequent playthroughs of the level. You know, that's the problem with these abstract games. You can't always remember all the little bits and pieces of their construction, unfortunately. I'm sure in 5 years, if I stop playing Minecraft, I probably won't remember how to craft 90% of the objects in it anymore. High fiver, I got a 5 times combo. Oh no, my silk broke. Ah. So yeah, as you get more and more combos, you'll see how many chunks of pollen come out of those are greatly increased. So I should probably be grabbing all of that while I can. Although I need to get in a better position for that, because right now... Well, okay, probably right over here is probably pretty good. Let's do some swinging. Oh man, and if all of these chunks over here come over, I can maybe get all of them. And my pollen's probably going to break again. Let's get all of them. Let's do it. Yes! And then that'll actually drop a bunch more of those. Props to Pixeljunk for making so much stuff be able to appear on screen at once. It's a lot of pollen bits. Oh no, I'm wasting so much of it. Get back over. It looks like it's fading out. So yeah, you only have so much time before you can grab it. So let's do some vertical progression here. I guess we're supposed to be looking for the next spectra. And at some point I'm probably going to have to do some launching of myself, because I believe some of these things are stuck in weird places that require some interesting maneuvering to get to. Oh, see, I need to get up to that and that. Alright, so I should be able to make it to this one, no problem. That should let me grow over to the right, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just going to give me... Oh no, there it is. Gotta give it a second. I can't be impatient. See if I can get a bunch more out of this. That would be cool if I could get all of them. Yeah, I can. 7. Alright. So as you can tell, also the, Okay, gotta jump on that one. My timer is actually starting to get a little bit low since I haven't been picking up any of these little globule bits. So I just took care of that issue pretty quickly. So, capitalize on this large amount of pollen falling. Seems to be this inherent trend with indie games and plants. I guess the grassroots movement has something to do with it, the fact that it's, you know, largely symbolic like that. Alright, I'm having trouble not making the phallic reference joke here, but okay, I resisted. Or did I? You know, you guys like my videos for my professional demeanor, but occasionally I need to, point out the obvious. Alright, we've made a bunch of progress. We are getting up near what looks to be some platforms that I can actually stand on that are not going to disappear and wiggle. Let's do some jumping in this direction. Alright, we've built up some more pollen over here. I would actually like to finish that node off if we could. So let's collect that. That should be probably enough. And we'll grow that one up, and then we've got one right here too. You know, a little bit of this is reminding me of Oralux, which I didn't actually expect to make a connection to, but all of these particles and, you know, collecting particles into nodes like that, it's got a very similar vibe to it. So if my platforming was particularly perfect, I could have actually just used that to grab up all of those globules. I still don't know what to call anything in this. It's okay, though. Everything's so random, it's like, call them what you want. So, new best. Okay, well, I would hope that would happen, considering. Am I going to have to go back to the desktop again? Yes. So a little bit more progress. We have a total of 75 spectra to unlock, and we just gotten a new garden. 75 is a pretty good amount for a game like this. I imagine this will take quite a while. Again, I can't really remember anywhere near how many I had when I finished playing it on PSN. But I'm sure it wasn't more than like 25 or something. Man, this is making me wish I could go on and play Journey for you guys, because Journey is beautiful. Oh, here we go, some more interesting looking structures. Really cool to watch these things sort of explode and animate. And the background in this one is particularly pretty as well. So yeah, sorry it took me so long to get back into the swing of things on this game. It's definitely not your traditional platformer. But now that I have gotten it going, it seems like I'm beginning to get a feel for what the point of everything is again. It wasn't particularly hard to figure out. I was just without a point of reference, I suppose. At least temporarily. Alright, I can't seem to reach that. I might have to do some tricky swinging off of one of these edges. Something tall, perhaps. Oh, or I could just jump over there. Although now I'm very tall, I'm not sure how that happened. Alright, should be able to just jump right to this one, yep. Oh, what is this? This is probably an enemy. I think that I have to watch out for these guys. I might as well... Oh. Left click during a spin to do a drop attack. Drop attacks allow you to quickly fling yourself downward while in mid-air, defeat prowlers, and disperse large amounts of pollen using drop attacks. So left click during a spin. That's what I need to do. This is not a spin, though. I believe a spin would be one of these guys. So I actually have to line this up. Where'd it go? Seems to be gone now. Oh, there it is. Testing me? Oh, he broke my stuff. Okay, that's bad. No! I'm trying to get hit. Swing around. Left click. Nope, I missed. I like the amount of presence that the music has in the game as well. It's not overly, like, obtrusive. It's sort of there, but it's not getting in the way. And I think that it provides just enough background to feel like there's something going on. And I think it does add to the theme of what's going on as well. That is a large blade of grass-y thing. Just the nice fluid animations on everything really add so much. You know, you just bump into these things and everything is just moving around and swaying. I mean, we have no point of reference for what this could be as far as like a natural landscape. I mean, you could sort of imagine this is a landscape in an alien world, which is kind of a cool way to think about it. Oh, come on. That was way too close. Can't I just get on that thing? My sense of momentum is really running out here. Jump! Jump high! There we go. Alright, that's built up a platform for me. And I guess if you're really good, you could like combo a bunch of those, going right from one seed to the next. Sort of follow where this is going, too. Oh, there's a spectra up there. Oh man, I was holding down right click and I went right through it. Back to the ground for me. That's sort of like your worst punishment, is landing on the ground. And takes me back to the perpetual feeling of loss when playing E.T. on Atari 2600, where every time you start the game, you fall in a pit. You think you're making progress, but no, you fall in a pit again. God, that game was terrible. You know, we knew so little about how games and like gameplay and design were to work in the coming years, but I still feel pretty confident that if I was anywhere near the development process of ET for Atari 2600 that I would have done something to stop them. I mean, I don't know how I could know that for sure. I wasn't probably even alive back when that came out. I don't remember what year that was, but I was born in '85. But I have to be confident that I wouldn't have let that go that way. No! I figured out how to do a drop attack, but that's not what I was trying to do at all. What's amazing is I'm significantly more emotionally attached to my progress in this than I am in even I Wanna Be the Guy Gaiden, which didn't bother me very much when I died because I expected it. But this one, there's no penalty other than just losing progress, so it just seems a little frustrating. It's like de-leveling in an MMO. It's like your worst possible enemy. You never want that to happen, ever. I would rather lose like 10% or 20% of my gold or something than lose experience. Because then it removes that ability to, you know, make progress just simply by investing your time. Your time sort of loses some of its meaning in that. So now I'm quite far away from that spectra, and I have to get back far over to the left. And regardless how carefully I click, it seems like I'm not making the best jumps. And the controls are so simple. It's like left and right click, and you just move this cursor around. You couldn't really ask for a much simpler setup than that. Oh, did I actually break it? Okay, I'm scared. I don't know what to do with that. Get away. That's probably what I need to do with that. Can I, please? I don't want any of you. Okay, they're coming back together. Get over there. Not interested. Alright, this thing's gonna make my life a living hell. I can... Oh, god damn it. That was really lucky. I was expecting to shoot a thread out, and instead of that happening, nothing happened. Oh. Oh, I was supposed to hit them. Okay. Well, we're still learning. So that would be another spectra grabbed, and I think a pretty good time to wrap up the episode. Let's do one more back to the main menu here. Every time I click next, it brings me back to my calendar. It's weird. So 4 of 75, a long way to go yet. 3 more before I get another new garden, so it seems like there's going to be quite a few new gardens to look forward to. I mean, you could probably just figure it out by counting how many spectra are on that ring, and then making a sort of a guesstimate how many more to expect there to be later. That was not what I meant to do. So, I will say that this has been a look at Pixeljunk Eden, the beautiful neon platformer-y exploration artistic experimental game. And I definitely enjoy it, I definitely recommend it. I mean, granted, you have to have a propensity for enjoying this type of a game, and I grant that not everyone does. And that seems to be a recurring trend with this channel in general. Not everybody likes this, but, you know, if you do, check it out. But hopefully if you're a subscriber here and you enjoy the content I put out, you maybe are of the ilk that would enjoy this type of experience. Or at least you enjoy watching people talk about them, so at least that's a step in one direction. So I think that'll wrap us up for this one. Thank you again for watching. Make sure you head on over to facebook.com/indieimpressions, where I post every night's video. You can feel free to comment, pass the videos along, show your friends. Maybe you have a friend who is especially interested in games with beautiful art direction, in which case I would recommend pass on the Eden video. They might like it. Beyond that, at RockLeeSmile or at indieimpression for my Twitter accounts. Feel free to send me over game requests over there, or send them over YouTube, leave comments, wherever you like. I'm always happy to talk to you guys, whatever you want to talk about. And I think that'll pretty much wrap us up for this episode, so thank you again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with another. Have a great night, guys.